All right, that leaves us to we just had a brave survivor go live this past week and telling his tale, and that is Jack Crow. Now, Jack Crow is not only a type A survivor, but he's also the founder of a Facebook page called Aortic Athletes. And what I love about Jack and this page is number one, he's very engaging with Dr. Prakash out of UT Houston, who's running that research program we're all talking about exercise for the aortic dissection patient. And he engages with a lot of other physicians, specifically asking those like wild questions around athletics that we all don't know the answer to. We're all
Mhm.
told different things. And I know it's because maybe we experience this differently, but I also think that's because there is no one set thing that fits everybody. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be some room for wiggle in there, but nobody's really studied it before. And so he's asking these pretty interesting questions. But he's fairly new survivor. I mean, we're getting ready to hit year 3, but he was 60 years old when he dissected in 21 in the wilderness near his cabin in Upper
Wow.
Peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, so nobody wants to be in the wilderness of anything.
Oh,
But he had emergency open heart surgery several days later in rural northern Wisconsin, and that was to replace his ascending aorta. Then he had follow up open heart surgery 6 months later at Cleveland Clinic to replace his aortic arch. And prior to that, he worked as an executive director at Year Up Chicago, which was a workforce development non for not for profit. He was also the founder of Cristo Rey Jesuit High School and Christ the King Jesuit College Prep, where students from lower income neighborhoods could work at large corporations to earn their tuition. So before his not for profit career, he was a partner in Winston and Strawn, a very large law firm in Chicago. But pre dissection, this is the crazy stuff. He was also an Ironman triathlete, marathon runner, endurance
nice.
cyclist. Yeah. So post
Nice.
dissection, to somebody who lives this world, when you come out of a dissection and you're told, okay, no, your whole life has changed, there's a couple different groups of people. There are people who just say fine and they don't ever move again. I mean, you're talking the worst extreme to the other worst extreme where they're like beating the hell out of their body. So I think those are the two worst extremes. And then there's people in the middle towards the right hand side that are like, I'd like to be more active, but I don't know what I can do or can't do. And then there's people that are really active and they're like, but I don't know if I'm pushing it or not. And then there's a whole range of people in the
Mhm.
middle. So post dissection, he definitely still likes to bike. He likes to jog. He likes to swim open water. So he does that when he gets up towards his cabin. He also is participating in this first aortic dissection research study on exercise that Dr. Prakash is having. He's been married for over 30 years to his wife, Ava, yes, and they have 2 children. I'm going to guess it's like Sierra and Ryan. I hope I'm not butchering the one child's name, but and again, just this year he started that page on Facebook called Aortic Athletes, and I have to say, like, what I really like about this page is there's a lot of people I know in the community, and I know you know this, that when we hear about races or whether it's
Mhm.
5K, 10K, whatever, people tend to get up in arms. They like get all attitudey. Like, why is everybody raising money by doing races that people know we can't do? Well, nobody said you can't do. And even if they did say you can't do a running race, nobody said that you couldn't walk. And even if
Mhm.
they said you can't, for whatever reason, walk a 10K, nobody said you can't walk around the block. And that's what's so great about some of these pages, like Carmen David's Run for Aortic Health that's coming up in September, is you can do anything that your doctor has cleared you to do. Anything. And still participate virtually if you're not in the
Right.
area that she's in Texas. And what I love about this Aortic Athletes page is they're very welcoming. They don't make you feel like you can't. Instead, they make you feel like whatever you're passionate about, once you've talked with your physician to figure out how to do what you're passionate about, just try. And
Mhm.
whatever you're able to do, hats off to you for doing it. So it's not a competitive page, although we view athletics to be competitive. Do you know what I mean? So I find it I find it very welcoming, and really the message I take away from all of these amazing athletes is being an athlete is however you define it. However you do, you sitting in your she cabin, she place, she
Yes.
cave, doing art for hours, that's pretty athletic. Not everybody can use their arms like that and just focus and do that kind of craft work. So I look at that as being somewhat athletic because you need to have
Mhm.
stamina to do that. It took me a while to start painting again. So
Yeah.
I think that they're very welcoming, and I do highly encourage everybody just to check them out, see if it
Mhm.
resonates with you, see if you feel the same way I'm describing. If you don't, that's okay. You'll find something that eventually will resonate with you. But Jack, I think, has a presence that is very engaging and very empathetic and very supportive. And so I'm very excited to say that he's actually going to be going live, which is like a long time since anybody else has gone live on Aortic Hope in doing a Q&A. So I'm so excited to be a follower. It's great. He, as a Hope ambassador, as our aortic athlete, will be going live interviewing a doctor named Dr. Churchill. This is on September 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we will get details up soon, and you'll learn a little bit more about Dr. Churchill and what they're actually going to be focusing on. But I definitely wanted to give him a little bit of time so people understand that this Survivor Series that he just did live, who he is and what he's going to mean now to the organization. So, what are your thoughts about all that athletic stuff?